Yes, this new study linking ultra-processed food consumption to health problems does not establish causality. And the authors themselves point this out. One of the new findings from the study was a very strong link between anxiety, depression, adverse sleep outcomes, so sleep problems, and common mental disorders with ultra-processed food intake. But there's a chicken and the egg effect. And there's plausible explanations for high ultra-processed food intake increasing the risk of developing these mental health challenges. But another equally as plausible explanation is that people with anxiety and depression, other mental health challenges, seek out more ultra-processed foods. We know that stress-related disorders increase the cravings for high energy density foods. Plus, these foods require less time and energy to prepare. And if you're living in a reality where you don't have as much mental energy to prepare foods from scratch, easy and convenient ultra-processed foods are a great way to still be able to eat. Now, there have been other studies that show that the more ultra-processed foods we eat, the lower our intake of a really large collection of essential nutrients, including fiber, protein, potassium, zinc, magnesium, vitamin A, vitamin B3, vitamin B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin E. And that's because the more a food is processed and refined, the more nutrients inherent to the original ingredients are degraded and ultimately stripped out of that food. So unless they're fortified, ultra-processed foods tend to not offer a lot nutritionally. And we know that nutrient shortfalls, meaning our diets don't supply the daily values of all of these essential nutrients, do increase risk for a whole host of chronic health problems. So lower nutrient intake is again, a very plausible explanation for these links. And yes, there's also potentially an effect here from exceeding the acceptable daily intake levels for a collection of preservatives and additives. In general, we don't need to worry about these compounds if we're staying below the acceptable daily intake level. It's the dose makes the poison, the basic principle of toxicology. But for example, with food dyes, studies have shown that some people do exceed the ADI, this important threshold. And so part of the link here between ultra-processed food intake and these health problems could be the impact on our biology from exceeding the ADI for a collection of these additives. The other issue here is higher ultra-processed food intake means we're displacing those foods that we know are really important for supporting our overall health, like vegetables and fruit and legumes and nuts and seeds and seafood. Plus, it's really hard to disentangle eating patterns from other lifestyle choices. And we do know that people who eat more ultra-processed foods are more likely to live sedentary lifestyles, more likely to smoke, more likely to drink, more likely to be low income and have social determinants of health like working against them. And so likely what's going on here is that ultra-processed foods are both an indicator of a whole pile of factors that are influencing somebody's health, in addition to being a direct contributor, both by displacing more nutrient-dense, health-promoting foods and potentially by exceeding safe levels for food additives. But I want to emphasize that right now, where the science is at on this topic is we have not established causality. We do not know the causal biological pathways. And until we do, the best we can say is that there is a link. But we don't know what's the chicken and what's the egg.